54% of people never tailor their CV, and of the 46% that do, I feel most could do it better. And this is based on my having reviewed hundreds of CVs as a professional careers consultant. In this video, I'm excited to share the secrets to perfectly tailored CVs in a way that you can apply these lessons to your own. And I promise you, it's so much easier than you might think. Let's start by defining what good tailoring means. To obviously show how the experiences and qualifications you include are relevant to the role. Now, the obviously bit means the reader shouldn't have to struggle in any way to see the skills or qualities they've asked for in the job description. It's just obvious. Now, where most people fall down is they think they're being obvious, but they're really not. Example, let's say you're looking at a job description that is asking for communication skills, and by including an experience where you reference presentation skills, you might think the recruiter's going to be linking those two things, but 9 times out of 10, they're really not going to be doing that. A psychology experiment from 1999 explains why this might be happening. Participants were asked to count how many times the team in white passes the ball. And they concentrate so hard on the ball, they don't notice a moonwalking bear right through the center of the shot. Not until they're told afterwards, and then they barely believe it. This is relevant to CVs because recruiters are just looking for what they're looking for. Anything else, they're likely just going to miss. And that means putting exactly what they're looking for, the skills from the job description, exactly where they're looking for them. And this is the second bit of the equation. This eye tracking study from 2011 shows exactly where recruiters typically look when reviewing CVs. So to tailor like an absolute pro, say you're looking at a job description asking for organization, analytical and communication skills, you are literally importing those skills directly in front of bullet points and nesting them within your experiences like this, ready to write them into full sentences. And for the next bit of the definition of good tailoring, which is showing how you've used a skill, you can see in this case for organization skills how I've developed this by writing out a sentence. E.g., Google spreadsheet created to track the work of 3 colleagues in order to avoid duplication in converting handwritten delivery records into an electronic database. You're giving just enough detail for that skill to really feel real, well-rounded, 3-dimensional, and the best way of doing that is to include at least one sub-attributes of organization or whatever the headline skill is. By showing how you've used a skill, it makes it transferable, obviously transferable. So with the obvious bit and the showing how bit sorted from the definition, it's now time to turn our attention to the include part of it. We need to be selective. Anything that's not relevant to the job description, we can drop. We need to be discerning. It just means you're not going to include everything awesome that you've done in your CV. Some things will just have to live on in your heart. Your CV is you curating your experiences for a particular reader. Or put another way, your CV is the highest common denominator between you and the role. Get these 3 elements of good tailoring right, obviousness, showing how, and being careful about what you include, and you march right to the front of any queue for an interview. Now, the ultimate test to see if you've tailored well is to hand someone a highlighter pen, your CV, and the job description you've optimized it for, and ask them to mark up the bits on your CV that obviously relate to the job description. Now, this can be sobering and humbling, but if you've done it well, that person should easily, comfortably be able to highlight 60% or more of your CV. That is truly the way of telling if you're tailoring well. To sum up, I think it's easy to feel like we've tailored our CVs well if we've mentioned some things from the job description and we just think, yeah, brilliant, job done. But most people are not nearly obvious enough. I also want to say that tailoring is a bad metaphor for optimizing your CV for a particular role. Tailoring assumes people who work day in, day out with cloth, they build up muscle memory in the way that we as CV writers, who might only rewrite every few years, never build up. I think a far better metaphor is to cook to a recipe, to a plan, which if we follow, we can be confident we're going to get the end results. In the same way that I'm confident that if you follow the steps in this video, you're going to see your conversion rates at interviews absolutely skyrocket. If you don't believe me, give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. It'll be my pleasure to respond. And please know that I'm going to have videos coming out soon on me answering Google's most popular questions on CVs and resumes. So definitely subscribe if you don't want to miss out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. I'll catch you next time.